This video presents the practical side of anti-corruption. Anti-corruption can be as simple as ensuring that a policy is in place and that people are trained to understand, recognize, and report corruption, as well as any conflicts of interest they may have. It can also mean simply talking more about it to boost awareness and set a tone that clearly and firmly prohibits corruption, while also helping staff to understand and navigate some of the dilemmas involved in practice. Striving to ensure that we have adequate systems in place to prevent, detect, report, address, and learn from corruption cases is crucial. Effective anti-corruption also means being proactive in identifying and managing corruption risks. It is important to understand why and when people might engage in corruption and what the high-risk positions are. It's normal for people to change their behavior according to different contexts, and these contexts may change over time as new expectations, controls, pressures, and opportunities come into play. Framed this way, we can begin to understand that anyone might engage in corruption at some point in their life. Certain positions are more high risk than others, however, and it is important not to assess the risk at the level of the individual person, but rather the positions that people fill. The corruption risk in terms of impact concerning a driver versus a finance manager in a large operation, dealing mostly in cash, for example, will not be the same. In seeking to identify risks, you might consider trying to think like a thief, so to speak. Think about how you might steal from or defraud your organization, program, or project for different values, such as 100 versus 100,000 US dollars. It doesn't have to be in cash, and you might consider the opportunities there are to do this as an insider or an outsider, such as a supplier or public authority. Assess these risks in terms of their likelihood and impact, and consider if efficient, effective, and proportionate control measures already exist to mitigate the risks. If not, these should be developed and put in place. In our work as humanitarian development actors, anti-corruption is everyone's responsibility. Some key points to remember and take with you as you continue your work are: fighting corruption and preventing it within our work is directly linked to our mandate. In fact, a do-no-harm approach demands we combat corruption. Never endanger life, limb, or liberty for yourself or anyone else for whom you or your organization have a duty of care in order to conform with a strict zero-tolerance anti-corruption policy. The important thing is that the incident that an endangered life, limb, or liberty is then reported when it is safe to do so. Talk to others in your work about corruption so as to contribute towards boosting awareness and understanding, and to extend cultures and practices of integrity and anti-corruption. Assess the corruption risks around you and seek to ensure that efficient, effective, and proportionate controls are in place. Remember to always report suspected corruption via the appropriate channel. If in doubt about whether or not to report, seek advice on how to proceed. Failing to report suspected corruption is itself often seen as a form of misconduct. Set the tone, share knowledge, and do your duty to call corruption out and report it. Let's fight corruption together, so that the stories of corruption we all likely have can become just a little bit rarer, and maybe someday more an exception than the norm.